Just like having relevant and accurate information is necessary to make sound hiring and lending decisions, being engaged in our community is important. DataFax is proud to support the positives and be a sponsor of The Spark.
Since 1964, Memphis Theological Seminary has worked to equip men and women of all races and faiths with the spark to do ministry for the real world. We're grateful to serve our community and proud to support WKNO.
Lipscomb & Pitts Insurance has been serving the Mid-South since 1954. We've always focused on supporting our community and believed in promoting the positives, encouraging engagement, and leading by example. Lipscomb & Pitts is proud to be a presenting sponsor of The Spark.
Additional funding for The Spark is provided by Christian Brothers University, by Meriton, by YX Genomics, and by SERVES.
This month on The Spark, our theme is Assets of Art. We'll learn more about a nonprofit building a diverse community through chamber music education, youth development, and performance. A performing arts center offering a Broadway series and other events and programs to entertain, educate, and enlighten audiences. And a company focused on investing in our community while helping individuals and organizations invest for their future. We'll also share a special moment from our Spark Awards 2016. Ever been excited by a new idea? Inspired by watching someone lead by example? When we talk about creating change, we start by sharing the stories of everyday heroes making a difference in their own way so we can learn and do the same. This truth is the power behind this show, which is focused on business and community leaders who are leading by example to give back, fuel change, and create new opportunities for the Mid-South. I'm Jeremy Park, and this is The Spark. They're a nonprofit building a diverse community through chamber music education, performance, youth development. I'm here with the executive director for Prism Ensemble, Lacolean, Washington. And let's start with a little bit of history. When you talk about Prism Ensemble, give us some history for the organization.
So in 2005, we started the organization really as a performing group. And then we built out from there. In around 2009, we started a summer program, the Prism Chamber Music Festival. And from that program, we then built an in-schools program and after-school programs as well. And we have a site-based program pretty much all over the city.
So for those that don't know chamber music, describe chamber music. What is chamber music?
It's small ensemble playing. So some people might be familiar with jazz, where you have a group of musicians on stage and there's no conductor. Well, that is chamber music. In classical chamber music, we have the same thing. And it really requires the musicians to be able to communicate without that conductor, which is really nice. It's really a collaborative way of creating music.
So when you talk about the music education, I mean, they're learning how to play an oboe, a bassoon, clarinets. I mean, give us an idea of some of the instruments.
Right. We have everything. Any orchestral instrument, all the string instruments, of course, the woodwind instruments like bassoon, which is what I play, and the oboe, saxophone, and all the instruments that are in band as well. Those are the things the instruments that we work with more often than not. But, a lot of students, they learn things through sports and that sort of thing. But if you're a musician, you don't always have an opportunity to do that. And so when you're doing small ensemble playing, you get to learn some of those things like teamwork and being able to communicate and that sort of thing.
So talk about the actual structure of the programs, because it's after school, it's weekends, it's summer. I mean, you cover a very broad breadth there. Describe kind of the geographical area, but also too just how the program works.
Right, we have programs all over town. The summer programs in East Memphis, we have an in-schools program in Cordova, we've got an in-schools program in Binghamton, Hickory Hill, and we've got some after-school programs in Orange Mound. So we really have them geographically, we're kind of all over the city. But really it's more, I think when we think about our programming, it's twofold. I think one is for us to be able to just give students an opportunity to play together, and I love using that word play, because it's not just playing an instrument, also having fun, but then also giving them opportunity to work with adults in music making as well. So they have these high-level, high-quality musicians who is a professional on their instrument, and they get to work with them, whether it be after school, summer, and so forth.
Well, and when you look at what you're doing, I mean, you've got the play and the fun and the learning, but so much of this, I mean, there's amazing scholarship opportunities, the performance itself, I mean, they're getting to travel and experience things all around not only the U.S., but in some cases internationally. Talk about those dynamics of just, how much it really opens the eyes of these children to these opportunities.
Right. I think that, I say this all the time, that I think that as a general rule, we tend to underestimate young people. We don't give them opportunities always to be great. And so for us, we want to make sure that, number one, that a student who wants to be great, that we provide pathways for them to be great. But also for those students who maybe you just really love playing music, you're not thinking you're going to play in the New York Philharmonic, you just love to play. I think it's important for us as a community to create opportunities for those students as well. I think that oftentimes the best ones get to do the most things, but there are all those other kids who are going to become adults, and they're going to be people who give to the arts and they go to concerts. And so we want to make sure that we're creating pathways and opportunities for both kinds of students.
And you have a big festival, so describe the festival.
It's amazing. We bring in musicians from all over the world. We've got musicians coming from Sweden and Germany and South Africa, and they're coming to Memphis. And it's, originally it was a 1-week program, but last year was so big. This year we're expanding to 2 weeks, which is amazing. We're really excited about this coming year. And it's basically, we tell students they can go to, it's a combination of going to music school for a week, but also going to summer camp for a week, because we do everything from having fun shows that feature the faculty to also having these high-level, high-quality, internationally renowned performers coming in and playing for Memphis audiences as well. And so I think it's a combination for us to have. The students get to have everything. They get to have that fun piece, but they also get to see what amazing, great, world-class music making looks like and sounds like live.
Talk about how we can help as the public. I mean, obviously going out and attending the festival, seeing it all play out, working with the kids, even things like donation of instruments. I mean, I think there's so many different ways that we can help as the public. What are some of those ways?
Right, I think there are several ways. I think that number one, of course, corporate sponsorship. We have a Prism Chamber Orchestra where we bring in musicians of color from all over the country to come and work. So having corporations sponsor some of those musicians to come here, I think would be one way that the community could come in and really assist us to be able not only do this work, but to build upon this work. I think also supporting, just like most arts nonprofits, and just making sure that you are supporting financially. I think going online and giving to Prism is great. That's something that I tell people, right? It's always appreciated. And I would say that an organization like ours, we have proven to be great stewards of community dollars. I think that in addition to that, also being able to identify those students. You have, if you're a grandparent who has a grandkid that's staying with you for the summer, or if you're a parent who's looking for a music opportunity for a young person, send them to us, and we have this great 2-week program where they get a chance to just be with those like-minded young people. In most schools, they have one kid who wants to do that, and for us, we want to get all those kids together in one place.
Well, and a big part of this is the true fabric of Memphis. I mean, this is something that diversity, I mean, when you look at the geographical locations, you truly are spread out, but you cover all the different ethnicities, socioeconomic levels, so that you're truly inclusive of bringing everyone together.
And that's intentional. That's one of those things that's not something that happens by accident. I think oftentimes people think that will happen if you do certain sorts of things, but for us, we acknowledge the fact that that's not something that just happens organically in most cases. So we create opportunities and make sure that we have a diverse group of students, a diverse group of faculty, a diverse board, diverse staff. That's something that we look at. That is one of our core values as an organization, is diversity. Diversity, opportunity, and access. And we make sure that we live those core values in everything that we do.
So tell viewers where they can find more about Prism Ensemble. How can they follow the conversation? Where do we go?
Sure, www.prismensemble.com. It's Prism with an M, P-R-I-Z-M as in Mary.
Well, Colian, greatly appreciate all you do here in the Mid-South and for coming on the show.
All right, thank you. Thanks for having me.
They're a performing arts center with a Broadway series and so much more. I'm here with the president and CEO of the Orpheum Theater Group, Brett Batterson. And when you talk about the Orpheum Theater, hopefully all of us have been there at this point, but there's so much more going on that campus. So give us a little bit of history for Orpheum Theater Group as relates to everything going on there with the Orpheum Theater and so much more.
Well, when the Malco chain sold the Orpheum to the Memphis Development Foundation in 1975, they became the de facto operating group, the Memphis Development Foundation. That name stuck until just last May, when we decided that we needed something that was more inclusive. We'd opened the Halloran Center by then. We had more facilities. We were much more all-encompassing than we were at first. So that's when the Orpheum Theater Group was born, was May of 2016.
So let's start with the Orpheum Theater. So obviously you've got Broadway shows that come in. You've got everything from Lion King and you name it. So very well-known performances. Give us a little bit of the history for the Orpheum Theater, the seat capacity, the shows, all the good stuff there.
Well, it seats 2,300. That's the easy question. History goes way back to 1890 when the Grand Opera House was built on the corner of Main and Beale. It burned down in 1923 and it was replaced with what we now know and love as the Orpheum Theater, which opened in 1928. Operated as a vaudeville house all the way up until 1940, when movies really put vaudeville out of business, and that's when the Malco chain bought it and changed the name to the Malco, which lasted until 75. So it's been a little bit of everything over the years.
So a rich history, obviously, for all of us to appreciate. But one of the cool things is, I mean, you're bringing in huge shows. And it's not just the Broadway series. You have comedians come in, you have performers, musicians. So give us an idea of, when you talk about some of the great shows you've had, but also too that are coming up, what are some of the ones that put a smile on your face?
Well, we do about 250 shows a year, public performances and private events combined. And coming up next, which will put a smile on anybody's face, is The Little Mermaid, opening July the 25th. And running through the 30th. It's a great family show, the classic Disney movie on stage. Going to be a great night. My favorite show is always the next one. I can't tell you what I like the best from the past. It's always the next one. So Little Mermaid's next.
Nice. That's an easy answer. I like that. Switch over to the Halloran Center, because when you talk about the Performance Center and what you're doing there, it's phenomenal, especially for the kids and the education program. So describe the Halloran Center.
Well, I think we're lucky because I think that we have in the Halloran Center the best building that was designed and built solely for arts education. And it's got a little bit of everything. We have classrooms, we have a theater, we have a television studio, we have a lounge space, we have, you name it, 2 dance studios. It's a great space for arts education and we're trying to fill it as much as we can. My goal is for it to be full of kids 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's not possible, but we're doing the best we can. This summer, coming up, we've got 6 weeks of summer camp plus a musical theater intensive for high school and recent graduates. And, we'll put about 300 kids through the programs this summer. So this summer is when it really is being used to its max. There's kids everywhere. And
you also have some really neat amenities. You have a boardroom that you allow nonprofits and businesses to be able to use, and that's a part of obviously your underwriting to be able to raise money to do what you do. So you've got really neat ability for kind of all of us to be able to use the Halloran Center.
We can host almost anything in the Halloran Center, from a corporate meeting in the boardroom to a wedding in the lobby, to a show on the stage. We have a 361-seat theater. It's a very flexible space, and it's really terrific for almost any community programs.
You work with so many teachers, and when you talk about kind of building all this out, you have a really neat opportunity to kind of bring everybody to you to use this space, but to be able to work with some of the best in the business. So talk about kind of that aspect of the training and being able to seek out top talent to literally help train our youth.
Well, we reach 50,000 students, teachers, and parents throughout the course of a year. And we use teachers that are local. We use the best local teaching artists we can find. We also bring in teaching artists from as far away as New York and Los Angeles. We're partners with the Kennedy Center, which is the country's preeminent arts center, in their teacher training program. So we do bring in people, we bring in the people we need to bring in to teach the class the best that it can be taught. And then whenever we have a Broadway show, we do a Broadway 101 boot camp before, where performers that are in the show that night actually come and talk with students, and then the students go to the show and see those performers on stage. So we take advantage of every opportunity.
Yeah, very cool. Talk about how we can help. Obviously, tickets, going to the shows, that's an easy way. I mean, all of us definitely need to go and make sure that we enjoy the shows. But what are some other ways that we can take advantage of opportunities but help?
Well, number 1 is buying tickets. You're right. You hit it on the head. Number 2 is donating. We are a nonprofit, which a lot of people don't realize because of our Broadway season looks very for-profit. But the arts education programming is, it operates at a loss, and we need support to make that happen. And that's a very important part of our mission. You can also volunteer. All of our ushers are volunteer. They're called Friends of the Orpheum. They've been around for a long, long time. And you get to see all the shows that you usher. You can stay and watch the performance that night. So it's a great opportunity to volunteer. We have some office volunteers. Students can become interns. So there's a way, there's a There's a lot of ways.
There's a myriad, a million.
That's it.
Exactly. Pick the word. Well, talk about social media, talk about the website. How can we learn about the shows? How can we buy tickets? Where does that conversation begin online and in social media?
Well, our website, orpheum-memphis.com, is a brand new website, has all the information on it, so check that out for sure.
Well, I greatly appreciate all you're doing here in the Mid-South and greatly appreciate you coming on the show, so thank you.
Thanks for having me.
The Spark Awards annually recognize and celebrate individuals and organizations that have made outstanding contributions to the community. Our most recent award recipient for nonprofits with an operating budget between $1 and $5 million is Best Buddies Tennessee, Memphis chapter.
Best Buddies Tennessee opened in 2010 in the Nashville area and expanded into Memphis in 2013. We create friendships between students with intellectual and developmental disabilities into friendships with students without intellectual and developmental disabilities, making them a buddy pair. We are creating inclusion throughout the schools, and we're creating first-time friendships that just normally weren't happening organically, and that's what we're trying to do within our schools.
And you know this because you have personal experience with this. Your son, Hunter, describe, as a mother's perspective, the monumental importance that Best Buddies plays with these children.
Yeah, so my son, Hunter Swain, he has a rare chromosome disorder. He's 20 years old, and I started noticing that he was not getting invited to parties. He wasn't getting any phone calls. My girls were enjoying their childhood, and he just didn't have any friends. So that's the day that I realized that maybe we need to get Best Buddies into Memphis. I tell this story all the time. I think the happiest day of my life was the first time teenage boys knocked at our door and asked Hunter to come out and hang out. Some of my favorite events that we do at Best Buddies is our Best Buddies Prom, and that's when all the buddy pairs from across the Mid-South come together and enjoy a night of dancing. It's just, we have a salon that will shut down and do hair for them all day long, and hair and makeup, so they're all ready to walk the red carpet. And just to see, over 500 students coming together, and half the room are students with intellectual and developmental disabilities and half are not, and everyone's just having the best time. We also have our Friendship Walk, and our Friendship Walk is where we walk for inclusion. And so buddy pairs and people from all over the city come out to Shelby Farms, and we do a walk, and we walk for inclusion. And those are my two favorite events every year.
How would you sum up the experience of Best Buddies?
It's been an amazing thing to watch. I love it when I'm at a grocery store, or if I'm just out in the city and I see a buddy pair together, and I get to watch it from the background and just know that none of this existed. And now there are buddy pairs that I don't even know their names anymore. I used to know everybody pair's names, and I knew where they went to school. So it's really cool for me to watch. I see stuff on social media, buddy pairs doing stuff together, or something that a school has done to bring inclusion into the school. And sometimes it's overwhelming, but I'm very humbled by the generosity of everybody in this city, because it took a lot of people to get behind us. It took a lot of companies. It took, it just took a lot, and people just really, really started to understand why we needed this in our city.
They're focused on investing in our community while helping us invest for the future. I'm here with the Chief Investment Officer for Duncan-Williams Asset Management, David Scully. And let's start out, Duncan-Williams, kind of a household name here in the Mid-South, but Duncan-Williams Asset Management, a little bit more newer company, but focused on assets, asset management, helping us make the best decisions. So give us a little bit of history for Duncan-Williams Asset Management.
Sure, happy to. First, thank you so much for having me today. I really appreciate it. But yeah, as you mentioned, Duncan-Williams Asset Management has been around for about 2 years. All the employees of Duncan-Williams Asset Management were previously at Duncan-Williams Inc. for about 5 years. So the organization has been in business for really about 7 years, but the last 2 spun out. But yeah, you're right. As far as asset management, we're a registered investment advisor. What we do here in Memphis is help basically anybody that that would theoretically like to invest do that, whether it's an individual, a retirement plan, a nonprofit organization, endowments, foundations, all of that type.
Talk about working with nonprofits. This is a big one. I mean, you know, as a brand, heavily supportive of the nonprofits here. I mean, you can see billboards, you guys are at all these events. I mean, you're extremely giving, and we'll talk about that even more in a second. But you also, too, you partner with nonprofits in a special way with things like 401ks, investments, making sure that they're financially sound and they're helping their employees as well. So describe kind of the partnership side, if you will, of working with nonprofits.
When we partner with an organization, what we want to do first, we want to know what is the mission? What are we trying to achieve here? What is this nonprofit organization hoping to do to better our community? And how can we support them in that mission? Now, part of that for sure, like we're a business, is providing a service and helping them do whatever it is they're trying to do for a fee. But when I say that deeper level, we want to be on campus helping do the things that they want to achieve, right? If they're having fundraisers, we're there. Whether it's the table at the auction or the sponsoring the golf tournament, but not just with dollars, right? It's real man hours, right? When we're working with an organization that's in the Memphis community doing good work, we're actually trying to spend time on campus learning and bettering that organization however we can.
It's really cool. I mean, you, in many cases, it's not necessarily like in writing required, but I mean, you encourage and you push and you get your employees out there in the community to serve, to be volunteers, to serve on boards. And so to your point, you see them out in the community giving, and to me, I just love it.
It actually was in writing at one point. It may still be. Yeah. Better. So Duncan and Dimitri, about 5 years ago, wanted to hire a bunch of young people, bring them to the Memphis area. There was some coverage at the time. And one of the things they required was you must be involved with 3 nonprofit organizations. And at first we thought, is this gonna limit who actually applies? It was the opposite. In fact, we had 500 applications for fewer than 20 positions. People loved it, and so the ones we ended up hiring are very much committed to Memphis. But yeah, it was actually in writing.
So it was in writing.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, nice.
But yeah, so with nonprofits, especially as it relates to retirement planning, a lot of people think of nonprofit organizations as kind of the shoestring budget where we're saving every dollar. We want to be responsible stewards of the dollars we have. And so a lot of the money that they raise goes specifically to mission. And retirement plans kind of get left out, right? Either they don't have one or they have one that's kind of over on the side. And we find with nonprofit organizations, just like for-profit organizations, it's really important to be effective to have these types of benefits in place. Because first, the obvious side of it is it helps you attract and retain talent, right? You're not just competing with other nonprofits for your next executive director. You're competing with anybody. And in addition to that, having a retirement plan that is really well run and effective and well funded allows an organization to have healthy turnover. And so rather than having employees that are still working in their 70s and maybe even 80s because they have to, you see them reach an age where they'd like to retire in their mid-60s, and they've got enough money to do that, and so they retire comfortably and everybody's happy for them. And then you have a younger employee that comes in that's able to do that job and maybe not necessarily more efficiently, but probably less expensively, and it just creates greater health for the overall organization.
Well, I think when you talk about having a vibrant community, the nonprofits definitely, they have to be doing their mission. But to your point, I think what's kind of a cool side that you kind of mentioned that most flies under the radar is preparing for the future and allowing their employees. One, it's an attractive mechanism to have in place, but two is that perpetuity. It allows them to transition. It allows them to take advantage of having the best staff. It allows them to make sure that the quality of life for their team is high. And I think it's a neat side of the business that you don't really often see on TV, but this is something that you guys specialize in.
That's right. That's right. So, yeah, I mean, when we get engaged by a nonprofit organization or, a small business in the Memphis community, we really come in and help them run things a lot more efficiently. We found that these smaller plans, right, and when I say smaller, it's really stuff under $25 million, but way under $25 million sometimes, like $100,000. So one of the things that sets us apart from some of the other folks that provide the same type of service is we provide direct education to the individual participants, right? We don't view the organization as the sole client. Each employee that could participate in that plan ends up being a client of ours. And so they get our business cards with our cell phone numbers on there. And we really want to educate every level of the organization to make sure that they're employees are effectively planning for retirement.
And I think that goes back to even the introduction is it's not just about investing in the community on the nonprofit side. It's helping us invest as an organization, but as a family, as an individual. So I greatly love everything you guys are doing. Talk about just how we can learn more. How can we get in touch with you? The website. What are the basic connection points?
DW Asset MGMT, short for DuncanWilliamsAssetManagement.com. And on there, we've got all our contact information. It's got our pictures and what we do, and actually where we're involved in the community. All our nonprofit stuff is on there. But yeah, that's the best way to get in touch with us now. We've got coming soon. We're going to get fully on board with all the Twitter and Facebook, and we do have a LinkedIn presence, but we're going to get more active in social media here soon.
Well, very cool. I greatly appreciate all you do in the Mid-South and appreciate you coming on the show and sharing. Thank you, David.
Thanks, Chairman.
Art has the power to move us, to inspire us, challenge and shape our thinking, and make us laugh, cry, and reflect on life. Art is an asset to our city because it adds color and dimension. It brings people from all walks of life together and helps us better understand each other. That's why the work that Prism Ensemble and the Orpheum Theater Group are doing is so important. They're working with our youth and using music, acting, and performances to give them confidence, skills, and opportunities to succeed. They're also bringing world-class productions to our city, like the Orpheum Theater Group's Broadway series, and they're using these events and programs to entertain, educate, and enlighten audiences across the Mid-South. Businesses like Duncan Williams Asset Management are not only supporting the arts and investing in our local nonprofits, they're helping families and organizations make wise financial decisions so they can enjoy life and give back even more. Together we can make a difference. So thank you for watching The Spark and for being a champion in our community. To learn more about each of the guests and to share your stories of others leading by example, visit WKNO.org and click on the link for The Spark. We look forward to seeing you next month, and we hope that you'll join with us in creating a spark for the Mid-South.
Just like having relevant and accurate information is necessary to make sound hiring and lending decisions, being engaged in our community is important. DataFax is proud to support the positives and be a sponsor of The Spark.
Since 1964, Memphis Theological Seminary has worked to equip men and women of all races and faiths with the spark to do ministry for the real world. We're grateful to serve our community and proud to support WKNO.
Lipscomb & Pitts Insurance has been serving the Mid-South since 1954. We've always focused on supporting our community and believed in promoting the positives, encouraging engagement, and leading by example. Lipscomb & Pitts is proud to be a presenting sponsor of The Spark.